Hello friends. Welcome to this video. In this video, we will be talking about the von Neumann entropy, or which is the quantum version of the Shannon entropy. We had Shannon entropy associated to a random variable x as minus summation over I pi log base 2 of pi. And it was a special case of the Rayleigh entropy for the Rayleigh parameter alpha tending to 1. So now, before moving on, I want to clear out something that we discussed. The entropies like this. This is the conditional entropy. We had entropy of this form. This is the joint entropy, and we also had something of this form. So this entropy talks about the uncertainty associated with x given that we know about y. So by its very definition, by the fact that it says just the uncertainty associated with x, given that we know about y, it is defined as the joint entropy minus h of y. Now the definitions of these three, which is the conditional, this is mutual, and this is joint entropies, can be captured by a Venn diagram. But this Venn diagram, it is not very accurate to and must not be used for relying on everything related to these topics. It is not much reliable. So first of all, what is this Venn diagram? First thing to note is that the entire area under this Venn diagram, it is h of x comma y. And this part, this circle that we see here, this circle is h of x, the other circle is h of y, and the entire area is h of x comma y. Now you see how much mutual information intuitively means that what is the overlap. So this thing is actually h of x mutual y. This is the mutual information part. And this part that we see, which is after subtracting the mutual part, this is h of x conditioned y. So immediately we can read off some of the results, that h of x conditioned y is equal to, that is this area, which is the entire area minus the mutual part. So it is h of x minus h of x mutual y. And similarly we can say that this is h of y mutual y conditioned on x. But now you see the total area is h of x comma y. What does it mean? What it means is that h of x comma y is equal to this area plus this area, but I will count this area twice, so I have to subtract. So that is h of x plus h of y minus h of x mutual y. In other words, what it means is that h of x mutual y is equal to h of x plus h of y minus h of x comma y. So this Venn diagram nicely fits all our descriptions, but we have to remember that what each of the circle means and what is the total area. The total area is h of x comma y. It is the joint entropy. And similarly we can also say that h of x comma y is equal to h of x conditioned y plus h of y conditioned x plus h of x mutual y. So like this we can get various kind of relations just using this Venn diagram. Now let's move on to the von Neumann entropy part. So the von Neumann entropy, actually we had the classical version of Shannon entropy that you see here. So just replace summation with the trace, because when we say we are tracing something out, we actually sum the diagonal elements. So in that sense, we replace summation by the trace, and each of the probabilities we replace by the density matrix, because a density matrix holds all the probabilities. So it is an intuitive way of how we can say that von Neumann entropy may be related to the Shannon entropy. So you see, by replacing we get this relation where rho is a density matrix, and this is called the von Neumann entropy associated with the density matrix rho. And given this definition, we can clearly see if the rho is a diagonal matrix having entries like entries of the form of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, this log of this will just be a diagonal matrix having all the entries with log of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 like that. And then the matrix multiplication will also again be product of two diagonal matrices that will give us a diagonal matrix. And finally one can say that the final answer will be of this form. This is exactly the classical form. So in other words, if rho is a pure state, or if rho is only the diagonal matrix, so if you have rho and these are the diagonal entries of the rho, then we see that these diagonal values are actually the corresponding probabilities that goes inside the Shannon entropy part. So in that sense we get this result. Similarly, one can also define the quantum version of the Rayleigh entropy. Just replace the summation with trace and replace the probabilities with density matrix, and that gives us the quantum version of Rayleigh entropy. Now one of the important point is that if we have a pure state, then we can say that the entropy of that state is zero. Now why is that so? It's because suppose A is a state and this is a pure state. But now you see, this state that we have written is already in the form of, it is already in the form of a diagonal matrix, because rho is 1 times A, and everything else is 0. So what it means is, when I use this formula, when I use the formula for this S of rho as this, I will get only one of the probabilities. So in this summation, the summation will only be with a lambda equal to 1 and then log of 1, but log of 1 is 0. So the entropy of a pure state is actually 0 always. Now to get a better hand, what we need to do is that given a density matrix, we just need to diagonalize this density matrix to get the eigenvalues, and this formula is actually, these values are the eigenvalues that goes inside. So in that sense, the pure state, as it has only one eigenvalue, it is trivially, actually it's this entropy is 0. Let's try for this state. Now we can approach it by using the linear algebra pathway of diagonalizing this matrix and finding its eigenvectors, but we can also see something else. You see, this matrix representation is actually this: half 0 0 plus 0 1 plus 1 1 0 plus 1 1. That is clear. So this matrix, so matrix rho is actually of this form. The matrix rho is actually product of two states, and these states are actually the states which are the eigenvectors of the spin x operator. If you remember, these states are just x plus, such that when spin x operator acts, it gives you a eigenvalue of plus half with h bar equal to 1 and x plus. So hence we see that rho is actually equal to x plus. So now what we can say? We can say simply that, look, this is a pure state. So rho is a pure state. Even though it was not quite obvious from this matrix representation, now we can clearly say that the entropy associated with this rho is actually just 0, because it is a pure state. It got decomposed completely. Now let's look at what is quantum relative entropy. Just like the classical case, we had relative entropy defined in this form. In the quantum case, I will just replace this with the von Neumann entropy, and I will replace the summation with a trace and the probabilities with the corresponding density matrices, right, like rho and sigma. This brings us to this definition that we see here. This is the definition of the quantum relative entropy. Now, similar to the case that we discussed in the previous video about the fact that the classical relative entropy is always greater than equal to 0, quantum relative entropy is also always greater than equal to 0. I'm not doing the proof in this video. Now, but we can use this fact that it is greater than equal to 0 and use what we can do is we can use a maximally mixed state. Now you see, what is a maximally mixed state? This sigma, if I choose it to be a maximally mixed state, then I can use this inequality and this definition to actually get to this point. Now what we can do is we can just substitute sigma equal to I by d, but this I by d is a diagonal matrix, and the log of 1 by d is minus of log of d, and this minus gets cancelled. So what we finally get is what? So we have a trace over, and there is a product also. So let's see. So it is a trace of, there is a log, then I will get trace of rho times log of d, because log is a number and this is the trace operation. But this is equal to 1 because trace of a density matrix is 1. So what I get is only log d. So the final result is that log d times identity is always greater than equal to S of rho. Now what this means is that always the maximum entropy that is possible is log d times identity, which is simply the entropy corresponding to the maximally mixed state. Now this means is that maximally mixed state has the highest entropy, and hence we have always said that the maximally mixed state is random, or it is most random state. So this is the fact that guarantees the fact that maximally mixed state is the state which has the highest entropy for a given dimension d. Here d is the dimension of the Hilbert space we are talking about. Now let's look at one more property to get familiarized with this notion of von Neumann entropy. That is, given a system that is in pure state, that is rho is of this form, now we have two states, A and B. So what we can see that S of A is equal to S of B. So AB, state AB belongs to Hilbert space A tensor product Hilbert space B. Now why is this true? Let's see. So given we have a state AB like this form, we can perform the Smith value decomposition or the Smith decomposition. It says that there exist such lambda i's such that this state can be broken into these lambdas, such that I is an orthogonal basis for Hilbert space A. Now this basis and this basis need not be same. This is just the iteration that is same. Okay. Now let's see. So given this thing, we have to prove that SA equal to SB. So we have to see what is S of A. So S of A, it means S of actually row A, and row A is tracing out B from AB, AB. And then we have to perform that. So AB will be hitting from both sides, and then we will be tracing out. Let's see. So what it should give us is that summation over I lambda I square. There will be an orthogonality that will kill the J part, and what I will get is IA. This is a row of A. Similarly, row of B is summation over I lambda I square I B I. Now you see, so I have row of A, I have row of B. Now I have to see, is it true that S of A and S of B are they equal? But this is now quite obvious. Why is it obvious? Is because this thing that we see, these eigenvalues that we talk about, this state is already diagonalized, and these eigenvalues are same for both row A and row B. So as the eigenvalues are same, and by the fact that the eigenvalues completely characterize the von Neumann entropy, we see that S of row A is equal to S of row B. This is only true in the for the case of a pure system. So for a pure state only, because we needed the Smith decomposition, and it is only valid for the pure states. So that's all for this video. So in this video we discussed about von Neumann entropy and a few of its consequences and examples. So that's all.